Hey guys, um, decided to do this quick video because I don't really have a lot of time to upload from like my camera and render and do all the fancy stuff and take out all of the ums and ahs. So I'm here in New York and I am getting ready to get my daughter checked in and ready for school. And we're staying in this hotel. We're staying in a really nice hotel. And I sent her out of the room because I didn't want her to listen to what I'm about to say. Because it's so heartbreaking. I am going to tell her, but I'm going to tell her, in some privacy. But there's a saying that says, evil persists when good men do nothing. I had the Veganator, Andrew, his name is Andrew, on to do a contrary, a counter to, why I don't want to swirl. And it was meant to be sort of just like hey, not everybody's going to like you type of thing. Not everybody's going to be on your team. And, you go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. And that was really the goal of me having him on the show, on my show. It was not to change his mind about what what his preferences were, because that was never the goal. But I thought we had a rather civil conversation. But since he was on the show, he has done probably 3 to 5 follow-up videos, and I've seen his subscribers go from 97 and double, like 100%. And it's not because he's so amazing talking about the vegan lifestyle and healthy eating and working out. He has found his success. He has found his voice bashing Black women. Oh my God. And I'm responsible. And I have to apologize. I feel so bad because I inadvertently got another person to pile on the whole nobody likes you, nobody wants you, you're so disgusting, Black women, you should just kill yourself. And I did that. And what was really heartbreaking was that I have 40% of my fan base are men. And I observed video after video after video that this man made. And not one man, Black, white, or otherwise, came to the Black woman's defense. Not one. And what I saw was gleeful delight from men of all races. And I saw Black men going on saying, hey, you're so funny. I'm going to send your videos to David Carroll and Tommy Sotomayor, and you're going to have thousands. You're going to have 1,000 subscribers in no time. And I sat there and I watched that and I was like, oh my God. People really are successful by tearing us down. And then I was so disappointed of all the quote-unquote good men who sat by and did nothing and said nothing.
In this third and final segment, we take a closer look at how Crystalline Kairzan is compelled to stalk and harass black men to really get any attention at all from the opposite sex while at VidCon. Also pay special attention to how she positively interacts and reacts with mostly younger black men, many of whom would be considered handsome and attractive by the standards of most black women.
What's your name and what's your channel?
My name's Matt Smith. Channel's Dang Matt Smith. I do comedy.
Okay. Now tell me something. Like, how has the show been for you? Like, if you have a lot of subscribers, it seems like you can go to all the secret handshake parties. But if you're not, then what?
All the cool kids are doing it. If not, you just gotta you gotta know people. You gotta talk to people. Find somebody who knows about the secret handshake parties, and then you can get in.
Yeah, but don't you think it's like high school? It's like, you know what? Like, why are you paying money?
It's a popularity contest, but at the end of the day, you know, you might not like the game, but you gotta play. You still gotta play. You gotta play to win. It's competitive.
All right, thanks. Bye. And I'm with Niche on Mars here, who has like over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he also hasn't been invited to any of the secret handshake parties. Like, what's going
I don't know
on
what
here?
it is. Ask him, because he's a part of everything.
Okay, so you're a feature creator. So, yeah, I'm having this discussion because, like, if you're not like huge on YouTube, or you have like or you have this feature creator thing, you're just basically a nobody. It's like high school.
Yeah, it's well because I got to experience both.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh Lord, because I was like the first time I came here, I was just like a fan meeting other YouTubers, and as I got more subscribers and everything, like I worked really hard, and now like all the people that I was like meeting that I was a fan of, like now we're friends and shit. It's wild, it's amazing. I don't know if I was allowed to curse that. I usually don't curse.
Okay.
Oh no! Alright, but yeah, so I must say, was there another question?
Yeah, I mean, but if you come here and like you just have a mere 24,000 subscribers, yeah, you can work and hustle, but what are you paying for? Just being like, you know, you come here and you spend hundreds of dollars, and it's like you're like shut out of all of the secret handshake parties. It sucks.
That's the thing. Like,
it's a horrible feeling.
Because it's grown so much. It's grown so much too. Because it used to be like 7,000 people, and now it's like 30,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it's
sold out. It's getting worse and worse.
Well, you have not encouraged me to pay for another ticket.
Essentially, what happens is I'm saying,
just confirming that this is
trash.
all.
Don't go.
It's a clip.
Unless you're Tyler Oakley.
Yeah. So once you have over 1 million subscribers, you do not matter to VidCon. They don't care.
But it's fun. Look, you're having fun right now.
My daughter's having fun. I'm not.
Where is she?
She's, I don't know. She's at one of the fangirl things.
Okay.
And see, if you're a fangirl or a fanboy, it's fun. But if you're like trying to hustle and work your, nobody wants to talk to you. Not any access to anybody that matters.
I don't know.
Like, is there any advice at all?
I don't know. Just realize that if they treat you like you're worthless, like you probably are.
Oh, so I'm worthless.
Yeah.
I really like your hair.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like when people say,
I just told her I was shy, and I'm saying go ahead and touch it.
it's so thick.
I love when women touch my beard.
Do you like comb? Do you condition it when you?
I condition it with Pantene Pro V and
He uses Pantene.
Take note of the fact that even though Crystalline specifically came to VidCon for the sole purpose of getting into the VIP events, likely because she knew there would be a lot of white men that she could talk to and maybe even interview, after being stumped and almost completely ignored by the white male populace, just like most swirling black women, and black women in general who crave dick and attention, Crystalline instinctively switches to the default plan of pursuing, interviewing, hanging out, partying with, and even touching black men, many of whom seem to be half her age and in their early to mid-20s, around the age of her biracial secret love interest, Angel Ramirez, ironically. In this third subsection, we observed what many YouTubers have been addressing about the myth of black women garnering the attention of men of other races in droves. A majority of the men Crystalline interacted with verbally and physically were black men. A majority of the people that gave her the time of day were black men. And in spite of her calling black men troglodytes and unicorns on YouTube in front of other black women, she had absolutely no problem using black men to seek validation and boost her self-confidence as a black female who is wanted and noticed by men. In fact, even when she admittedly begged and actually did get into the VIP party, you notice she still was dancing with, acting silly with, and predominantly hanging out with black men. Not because she wanted to necessarily, but because just like with most black women, from the moment she came to this predominantly white-populated event, she was more accepted by her own race of man, and though she will never admit to it, she felt more comfortable, acknowledged, wanted, and secure with and around black men. And of course, as has been addressed throughout this video, how her white husband is of course MIA and nowhere to be seen in any of this.
So next up, we're going to go to, all right, go ahead, Crystalline, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm so excited to talk to you. I've been watching from the clouds for a long time. You have such a classy show, and you're so respectful. And I am actually learning from you.
Really? What are you learning?
Yes, just how to set up a live stream so that it runs smoothly, how you set the mood, the music, the way that you present yourself, the way that you manage your callers. These are all things that I've just been noting and really appreciating.
So, well, thank you. Now, obviously you come from what would you call it? Because they call it the SWIRL community as far as I know. What would you call it?
Well, I think they call it that because I wrote the book on it, and my book is called Swirling.
Okay.
And so they're called swirlers, but it's a loose confederation. I have a little bit of a different meaning. If you want me to.
Well, how about this? Because I know that there are a lot of black men who have harsh criticisms and critiques of yours.
Absolutely.
I've watched some of your broadcasts. I don't tend to have harsh criticisms. Now, I think that here's the thing. Here's what I like to know. What should a woman have to do to get a high-value man? I'll ask you that question. That's a question I think that would be fair to ask you.
Okay, I actually made a list while you were talking. So here's the thing. I absolutely agree that women, and since we're talking about black women should be fit. I agree with you that the majority of black women are overweight, and it's a problem. I've also come into roadblocks teaching my followers about this and telling them about this to the point where I've had to sort of back off from it. There's a lot of black women.
Now, for those who are familiar, I want to be clear. Are you saying you're getting pushback from women, even if they're talking about IR dating, about fitness?
Absolutely.
Now, see, that's probably surprising to a lot of brothers.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, and that's not to say that black women who are interracially married aren't finding men to marry of other races when they are plus size. But I always tell people you have more options when you are visually appealing because men are visual. I do have a list. If you
I do, and actually, what I would like to do, because you're in the chat room on the show, I would like to have you come onto the show. Maybe we can actually do an actual broadcast ourselves, because there are people who would like to see us argue, and there are people like, oh, I want to see them cook and tell. I don't just kill people and do shit for no reason. So why don't we do this? Instead of just having you in here, why don't I have you on? Let's coordinate and let's bring you on and do your own individual show. Could we do that?
I would absolutely love that, and it would be my absolute honor and pleasure to do so.
All right, we'll get that taken care of. All right, guys, we're going to have Crystal and Carolyn on. We're going to have our own show. I got 13 people in the call queue. Appreciate it, Crystal.
But Kevin,
go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to go through the list.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You're right. Go ahead.
I promise I'll be quick. So I agree with you that women should be fit. But they also need to know what femininity is. So there are 4 aspects of femininity. There is the courtesan, which is the sexy, sultry, sexual part of being feminine that make men go crazy. There is the Madonna, which is the spiritual part of femininity, where you are hopeful and that you are, you appreciate nature and that you are introspective. There is the Amazon, and the Amazon is the aspect of femininity that is the go-getter, that is protects her young, that does what is necessary in times of high stress, because you can't be soft all the time. There'll be times that you will have to activate that Amazon part of yourself in order to solve a problem. And then there is the mother, and the mother obviously has to do with being the creator of life, and creator of life could be creator of a human being, creator of a concept, the creator of the home, whatever that is.
Okay.
So women need to know what femininity is and really try to tap into those 4 aspects. I also think that Black women need to know that they have options. Now, Kevin, you're in Atlanta and you're a very good-looking man. You're respectful. You are definitely high value.
Wow.
But what happens is that when Black
Wow.
women are on this myopic focus of trying to get the IBM, then there becomes an imbalance. And so what I teach Black women is that they should expand their options to all men, including Black men. And it has a twofold benefit in that you have more opportunities because you're fishing in different ponds, but also it changes your energy from an energy of scarcity and desperation to seeing what else is out there. Despite what other people think, I'm not pushing white men on anybody. I'm saying to expand your options. And the reason why I'm on this call with you right now is because of how I've observed you for many, many weeks. And so I know.
Damn, it just took a couple of weeks and you want to suck his dick?
I felt like this was a safe place for me. And I want to also say that thank you for granting me the wrench, because I know it was done to protect me, and I appreciate that. The next thing is to maximize her assets. So you're an image consultant. I am a style coach, which is pretty much the same thing. So whatever you're working with, you maximize it. You make sure you know your body type, your style personality, your best colors. Be well-mannered. Understand the rules of etiquette and protocol. This is very, very important, because when you're talking about interacting with high-value men, you're going to be put in places where you are going to be observed by his friends and his colleagues, and you need to be poised. You need to feel comfortable and confident. And so I mean that's basically it.
And we can get you back on to him so you don't have to feel rushed. So
okay,
we can get you back on, but I want to make sure I heard it was the courtesan, the Madonna, the Amazon, and the mother.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's coordinate via email and try to get you on as soon as possible to follow with this show, because there is a difference, and I think what you have to bring to the table is important, because I do what I do, but I will never try to teach a woman femininity and all the other stuff. Completely out of my lane.
Advocate here, okay?
What?
Wait, no.
What devil could have an advocate against, like, not calling women the N-word? Seriously.
Babe.
All right.
Put yourself on mute, please.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here's the context of the situation, okay? So you met that man in the gutter. So another Black man called a Black woman. I want everybody to be clear on this, that a Black man called another Black woman an N-word. And my man met him where he was in that space.
And I'll do that every time. sorry.
Okay, if you do that every time, it's gonna be over. Because you can't do that. If you do that every time,
Okay,
because you don't
baby.
understand. Because you
As
can't do that.
As you say, I'll shut up.
Shut up. Shut up. Because there is nothing that you can ever come back from when you go there with that word. Because of what you represent. Do you understand? And I'm saying this publicly.
I do. I do understand.
Stay on mute. Stay on mute. You need to listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
So there is nothing that you can come back from that is going to make that okay, because of the emotions that are tied to that. And so when you meet these people where they are, they forget that they were even the first people that said it. They were the first they were the first ones who drew that, stone, who threw that blood, that they forget all of it because you look the way you look. And here's the thing, you guys. When you're in interracial relationships, you're gonna have to explain this stuff sometimes. It's frustrating. It is. And let me tell you something. I'm pissed at him right now. I just want you guys to know that. I am. And he knows I am.
I think everybody knows that.
And because the thing is, you created, while you were trying to protect me, you created a problem for me. And you're supposed to protect me, and protecting me is not creating more problems for me, Mr. E. And that's what you did.
I'm sorry.
And so when you double down on, well, I would do it again, then you don't really understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to go on mute, and I want the other women, and here, listen, Mr. E, I want you to stay on mute.
Shut the fuck up.
I want you to shut the fuck up. And I want you to listen.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
To what
the
other women have to say.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So you can understand, because you need to be educated in this moment right now, and you need to be quiet and listen to what they are saying. So we're going to do this popcorn style. Ladies, go ahead.
What's going on, guys? So, as many of you know, I am I'm working on a 2-part series that I have termed White Black Men Are Dumb, parts 1 and 2. Part 1 is already out. It's going to be addressing the issue with Tyrese and his undercover bed wench, ghetto gagging, pregnant head looking so-called IG model Serena Williams reject ass girlfriend who rattled his brain and got inside his head and blatantly disrespected him by saying that she had the hots for and wanted to fuck and suck his late friend, actor Paul Walker, who she wouldn't have even been old enough, at least legally, to fuck and suck when he died, let alone when he was in his prime. Okay? She probably barely even knew who the fuck Paul Walker was, because when he was alive, she was like 15, 16, 17 years old. Okay? Remember, the man's been dead for almost 10 years. Okay? I'm going to address that entire thing. It's going to be a long one. So as the late, great David Carroll used to say, you might want to tighten your chin strap. As I say, you might want to put your virtual bulletproof vest on, because that is going to be a long one. Okay? And I have a follow-up to that, a part 2, that's going to be addressing this whole to-do recently with this Olivia Alexa and this random white bitch that came from out of buttfuck nowhere and apparently wound up clowning the shit out of these niggas, or really just exposing them as the thirsty ass clowns that they actually are. We're gonna focus more on Olivia Alexa, the Afro Latina, as I call her, she pimp fraud, than this other goofy, basic looking white bitch that she reminds me of that press secretary that Donald Trump had, the plain Jane looking bitch in the red hair. But anyway, we're gonna address all that in part 2 when we get a chance. And initially, I had that video slated for this week, actually today, but I decided to push it back because I need to address a more pressing topic that I believe requires a more immediate response. So, within the last week or so, it has come to my attention that the girl who tried to swirl and failed, but calls herself the girl who swirls, aka Miss Beyond Black and White, aka Crystalline, I finally admit to being divorced, Kerosene, had this live stream that apparently she made private or deleted or something. And some people caught wind of her saying certain things about the late David Carroll, who, as you know, because it was well documented here on my channel, passed away back in December of 2021. God, it's impossible to believe that it's been that damn long. A year and a half. Right about a year and a half. Let me see. December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, it's been almost a year and a half. He made his last video, I believe, in late November of 2021. It was supposed to be the prelude to a 3-video special that he was preparing for Christmas, but unfortunately he never made it. According to his female family members, at least, he died from COVID. But you know, that's the official statement. But I'm a little skeptical of that, because back in those days, as y'all may recall, everybody was dying from COVID, allegedly. But nonetheless, the brother's been dead for a year and a half, and that's not gonna stop these monkeys from, you know, throwing shit on his name. And like I said, man, you know, I understand it. It comes with the territory. I'd be a hypocrite if I said that, you know, it's wrong to speak of David Carroll because he's dead, because I speak about dead bitches and dead dumbass niggas all the time. And I'm sure when I die, if I'm still, you know, memorable on social media, people gonna talk shit about me. You know, when you do this type of thing, it's like a boxer in the ring. Eventually, you're gonna get knocked out. You know, it comes with the territory. The only thing that I question is a group of people, a group of cowards that wait to address things about a person that they claim not to like, and things that they didn't like about that person once they die. When this person is here to address it, it's not like, we're looking on a news story and hearing something about some random thought out of buttfuck nowhere that we didn't know anything about. Okay? And we decide to, make a story based on the information that's on social media and the internet, right? Because that's that person's story and their lifestyle, which often led to their demise, supports our theory on, the ratchetness of the black female or the dysfunction of black America. David Carroll is somebody that, has been in this space for years upon years upon years, okay? At least close to a decade and a half, actually, when you think about it, okay? Well, let me see. 2015? No. It hasn't been a decade. Well, let me see. He came on about 2012, 2022. So about a decade, a little more than a decade. He's been online, okay? He's somebody that at one point, until he shut himself off, like I did, he was easily accessible. Doing live streams with the Quasi 100 and Crystal and Karazin on the Chad Factor. He used to have back and forths with his arch enemy, New Possibilities. There were people who actually addressed David Carroll when he was alive and well. Okay? But then you have this separate segment of cowards, like the hood rat that calls herself Woman's Fear now, and Crystal and Karazin, that after a certain point, primarily because I think they're scared of him, they did not address him directly. Okay? Even though this is a guy that is in basically a similar space. I can't say he's in the same space because he didn't do that dumbass live stream shit except for a couple of times. But he's in a similar space in the same area, okay? What Bomb Cherry used to call my area. He's in the same area as they are, okay? Why didn't they make videos, responding to him while he was live? It's ironic because the very same, goofy hood rat that actually did make videos being critical of him and even supportive of some of the things that he said, okay? She actually responded to him, making a video that was somewhat neutral but somewhat fair when he died. But I feel like, she had more of a right to do that than these other bitches, okay, that didn't respond to him until after he died. It'd be one thing if he died and they didn't know who this nigga was. Y'all get what I'm saying? But they knew who this nigga was, didn't have nothing to say about him. Okay, and David Carroll wasn't perfect. He co-signed with Obsidian after everybody knew, Obsidian was a simp. Okay? And that's cool. He had the right to hang out with who he wanted to hang out with. Okay? Nobody's saying he's perfect. He smoked cigars, even though he talked frequently about how his doctors warned him about cigars and his health. He didn't look like he took the best care of himself. But at the end of the day, he always spoke from the heart and straight from the true part of his mind. And he didn't sugarcoat shit for nobody. And he was probably one of the greatest narrators and orators of black YouTube that I've ever seen. Okay? At any given time, these people could have addressed him. Why wait until he's long dead? So, I don't need to keep beating that point over and over again. I know he said that repetition is the mother of skill, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Okay? So Crystal and Karazin, according to rumors, because I haven't seen this live stream, okay, and people in that swirling community and so-called divestment community, they don't call themselves swirlers anymore. They call themselves divestors. Fucking goofy bitches. they tend to take stuff down that causes controversy because they don't want the blowback, they don't want that smoke, they don't want the heat. So they'll make it private or they'll delete it right after they made it. And some people will record, screenshot it or something like that, and you'll just hear rumors of what happened. Like when there were rumors that Crystalline Kerrison she had shared some explicit pictures, or somebody had shared some explicit pictures that she allegedly exchanged with Angel Ramirez. Never saw it, but we heard about it, right? So I'll put it like this: there are people claiming that Crystalline Kerrison had a stream, and in that stream, she was talking shit about David Carroll. And one of the things she claimed, and people are claiming that she showed, were receipts of some type of email communication that they had with each other. And in this email communication, allegedly, she claims that he was flirting with her or he was simping. And then I seen a bunch of these dumbass niggas with video titles like, did legend David Carroll betray the loyalty of his followers by flirting or simping with Crystalline Kerrison? I mean, really, this just shows you how completely stupid these niggas are. Because what the fuck does him having a communication with Crystalline Kerrison that hasn't even been confirmed yet, knowing how scandalous and conniving this bitch is over the years, calling in to flirt with Kevin Samuels, trying to bring this white boy Veganator onto her live stream and then crying like a little newborn baby when he winds up flipping the script and clowning her ass for it. Falling out with Sophia Nelson and Simone Five Tricks ugly ass. After they tried to create this stupid ass fucking network group calling Sisters Overcoming Stereotypes. And the shit fell out because, their egos meshed together. And they couldn't decide who was going to lead the shit or fund it. Her acting thirsty as a fucking junkyard dog in the desert with no fucking water pan in front of him at 2016 VidCon that I exposed. How many different controversies has this goofy bitch been in? And now we're supposed to just believe just out of fucking nowhere. And that's just the ones I know about. Y'all watch these hoes a lot more than I do. Okay? I'm just in my own little world. If people don't tell me shit, I don't know nothing about no motherfucking Just Pearly things or Crystalline Kerrison or none of these motherfuckers. I don't know nothing about them unless y'all say something about them. So now we just supposed to believe based on a rumor of something that somebody heard or somebody saw with no actual proof that this happened. I can almost guarantee you there's only one of two reasons why this is happening right now, a year and a half after the late, great Mr. Carroll passed away. Either A, which I believe is more than likely the case, some people who are, adverse or at the very least trolling decided to take something that was seen or heard on one of her goofy ass streams and over exaggerate it and blow it up to something that it really wasn't, okay, or wasn't as much of what they're claiming. And then somebody else heard that and, added a little salt and pepper to it, and before you know it, it's David Carroll was simping for Crystalline Kerrison. Either that, or if this bitch really was, like straight up, like talking shit about David Carroll and some emails that she claimed he was making that was showing, him flirting with her or whatever the claim is. For her to wait this fucking long, 8 years after they last talked, which to my knowledge was November of 2015, and I'll show you proof of that in a moment, And a year and a half after his death, something likely traumatic and dramatic is happening in Crystalline Carrison's life, either privately or like that time when she went offline for like a month and a half and then came back. Either, and she never explained what the reason was for her leaving. Either something dramatic or traumatic is happening in her personal life, or there's some other type of controversy that's about to hit her like a lightning rod and she knows it on social media, and she's trying to, you know, derail that or you know, counter that by coming up with some shit from almost a decade ago and hoping that that will distract people. You know, she's trying to create like this diversion from another, you know, heap of shit that she done got herself caught up in. But something must be dramatic or traumatic must be happening in this bitch's life to bring up some shit that she could have, if true, she could have released 8 years ago, a year and a half ago, 5 years ago. That now all of a sudden, after this man is nothing but a memory, is just randomly bringing up now. It don't make no fucking sense. That would be as goofy as me bringing up information about, like, you know, some of those goofy white supremacists that I used to get into it with on my other YouTube channel before y'all even knew me as Brian Solange. I'm talking about all the way back in the single digits of the early 2000s, like 2008, 2009, maybe 2010. Or some of the fucking flame wars and beefs I used to have on, you know, old gaming websites with, you know, other gamers, you know, before I got into YouTube vlogging and blogging with people that y'all don't even know anything about and are only a memory. You know, that's how irrelevant this is. And let's just say for a brief moment that it actually did happen. That David Carroll was 8 years ago in her DMs, lightly flirting with her or something. Does that change any of the truth that he actually said about not only black women, but black men and the black race? No, the fuck it does not. As a matter of fact, even he said that what you do in your past, okay, it should be noted, but it is not relevant to judge your present unless you're still doing it. If you're still doing it, that's a lifestyle. That wasn't a mistake. That's a lifestyle. But I refuse to believe until I see actual proof of this. And don't worry, it's not going to come out, because if it's going to come out, it would be out by now. Unless I see actual proof of this and not just hearsay. Because you know niggas love hearsay. The amount of shit fucking lies that have already been verified as lies by the FBI about FS Avenger website, okay, that came out last year after that Frank James debacle. I mean, were just unbelievable. I actually laughed at some of that bullshit that I saw online. Niggas, they get something and they run with it. It can just be a rumor, a whisper, or something somebody said. They ain't got no proof of fucking nothing. And they'll just take it and fucking run with it. Don't do research. Just he said, she said. That's another one of many problems of the reasons why the black race lags behind other tribes and is at the socioeconomic and every other ick bottom of the totem pole of everything that fucking counts. Because once again, it just solidifies how and why niggers are dumb. Where is the proof of this? Now, while we are calling out the girl who tried to swirl but failed, and her minions, and those spreading these rumors of the man who called himself the intellectual juggernaut. And, that's up for debate, whether you thought he was or wasn't. Okay. But while we are awaiting these so-called receipts, okay, what we can say right now is that we do not know what actually went down in private communication between Crystal and Karen and him. But what we do know is what went down between Crystal and Karen and David Carroll 8 years ago in 2015 on a public platform, because there is a permanent record of what went down. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, let me refresh your memory. But before I refresh your memory, okay, I just need to remind y'all of who Crystal Karen is. This is a woman who brought a little known white boy onto her stream because he said he was done fucking with and ghetto gagging black bitches, thinking that she could somehow turn him. And he wound up flipping the script, using that opportunity, going on her stream to clown her ass and get likes, views, and subscriptions for herself. Okay? And this little known nothing ass white dude had her crying like a fucking baby, running and begging not only white men but black men to come to defend her. That was some of the most hilarious and really shameful. I mean, I felt I was in a relationship at the time. Me and what was then my fiance, but shouldn't have been, subject for another video. We both felt sorry for that goofy bitch. Okay? If you type in Crystal Karen cries, okay, you can go to Google right now and see screenshots that people took that went viral of this silly bitch crying, trying to bring a white boy on her stream. Why the fuck would she even bring a dude on that says he don't fuck with black bitches? And it turns out the dude was nothing but a troll. Cause it turns out he didn't mean any of the stuff that he said. Okay? This is the same goofy bitch that recorded herself acting thirstier than a junkyard dog in the Arizona desert with no water pan next to his chain and doghouse at VidCon 2016. Acting like a little immature 6-year-old child, a little kid in a fucking candy store throwing a temper tantrum because mommy and daddy won't get her Skittles. Talking about this mid-40s, even back then, talking about how nobody paying attention to her at VidCon. It's only for the big people. Well, no shit. That's celebrity worship. That's the nature of celebrity worship. That's the nature of social hierarchy, bitch. No, people are not actively, a majority of people are not actively, looking in this sector for anything. Whether you're talking about what you do or what I do. But I'm cool. I'm okay with being small. She thought she was supposed to be something bigger than she actually was. Going around bothering random ass white dudes and black dudes. Touching white guys and black guys at the bar getting drunk with white dudes. One of them tried to take her upstairs and bang her. Y'all remember that video that I made of her? It was a fucking classic. It's on my other channel. Go check it out. I psychologically broke that bitch down like Dr. Phil and Dr. Ruth and Dr. Seuss combined. Because she's more readable than a fucking wristwatch. This is the same female. When Kevin Samuels and David Carroll made a video about this, Kevin Samuels in his prime, 2 years ago, 2 years before his death, I think in 2020 or late 2021, went on his live stream. But then keep in mind, this was before she confirmed that she was divorced. Okay? She went on his live stream, and was flirting with him, telling him that he was a very good looking man. She was so submissive. Y'all, go listen to that shit, bruh. Go listen to that shit. It was hilarious. Imagine a crystalline kerosene. That's like motherfucking Hitler giving a speech in front of the Israeli Knesset. I mean, are you fucking serious? All this shit this Holden talked about black men, and this is what she does? This is the same bitch who, after she finally confirmed the divorce from the husband that was long gone, got this goofy ass white dude from out of nowhere, started posting pictures of him up, and this dude was a straight fucking goofball, claiming that she was dating this dude. And I said as soon as I saw that shit. Matter of fact, I made a commentary about it that I never got a chance to upload. I said, mark my fucking words, this shit ain't gonna last but a couple of months. Sure enough, her goofy ass took him on some other social media site, Clubhouse or some stupid shit. And she actually was stupid enough, without vetting this dude, to bring him on a live stream. And some black guy wound up baiting this dude and exposing him as a fucking racist. The black dude said something about, like, oh, would you date a nigger B or something like that. I don't exactly recall what happened, but the white dude, he foolishly responded by saying, yeah, I would date another nigger B. I mean, and she was so fucking embarrassed. She told that white dude to shut up, to shut the fuck up. Y'all remember that? She literally told him to shut the fuck up. This is a female who repeatedly, nobody has to dox her or insult her. She doxes and insults herself. That's not even to mention, all the controversy when people doxed where her daughter was living and what her daughter was doing out in New York. Supposed to be going to college. Well, she dropped out of college and, she was making a fucking fool out of herself in a polyamorous relationship with some half-breed Negro that every black bitch on lipstickalley.com called a Dusty. She was in some relationship with some Jewish white bitch. Now that, like I said, as far as Crystalline Kerrisan's daughter, I don't directly blame her for that, simply because I've seen too many times, even in certain parts of my own family, where a person is raised a certain way or misraised a certain way, and they grow up completely different from the way they were raised. So that may have been a matter of, nurture, or it may have just been that's how the person, decided, those are the choices that person decided to make once they got out on their own. But the fact that Crystalline Kerrisan's daughter is somewhat dysfunctional like her is at least somewhat of an indicator that this type of immature, degeneracy runs in their bloodline. Okay? It's in their DNA to be fucking idiots. Okay? So I need y'all to keep in mind, while we're waiting on these alleged receipts, that this is who we're dealing with. Okay? This is who we're dealing with, is claiming that David Carroll or anybody was thirsting after them 8 years ago, and a year and a half after the person died and passed away, when at any given time they could have released this information. This is who we're dealing with. So with that in mind, let's see, while we're waiting on the receipts from Crystalline and her minions and whoever spread these fucking likely false, or at the very least over-exaggerated rumors and claims, let's look at the actual receipts of the known communications that occurred between David Carroll and the girl who tried to swirl but failed. Okay, so this is the Twitter conversation that David Carroll had with Crystalline all the way back 8 years ago. And I am genuinely surprised that this stupid bitch did not take her part of this conversation down, okay? Because it's so easily traceable. All you have to do is go to David Carroll's Twitter and type in a certain date or a certain keyword. You don't even have to scroll all the way back, and you can find this conversation. Keep in mind, this was an exchange that they had right after the Chad Factor live stream interview that they did, him and Equazi 100 on the Chad Factor radio or blogcast or whatever. And everybody was saying how David Carroll ripped her a new asshole, right? And so after that, they kind of got into it. And I think he made a follow-up video where he was being critical of black men that were in their panties because he, basically schooled Crystalline, right? So I don't know why they wouldn't do this. I mean, I don't know why it just further evidence of how dumb and immature this bitch is. Why she would keep something like this, or post something like this where it's publicly viewable instead of private messaging him, where it couldn't be seen unless he screenshotted it and shared it with the public is completely beyond me. Okay. This is not a private communique. This was on her in his public Twitter timeline. Okay. Now, as you can see, she contacted him directly first. Okay. In this exchange, November 4th, 2015. Okay. She said, "Now I'm going back to my nice life, not dealing with old cigar smoking ruckuses who are beneath me." And she's referring to the cartoon character Uncle Ruckus. Again, after he verbally smashed her, for those of you who didn't see that, as a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and, if that video is still up, I'll just go ahead and post it probably in the intro so everybody can, see what actually happened all the way back then. Okay. And so after that, she posted another post where she's saying, "Go ahead, make a video about how much you want to kiss and hug me, David." Right? And then this is actually a photo that he did a video with. Okay. And he responded to her saying, "Consider it done." Right? And so for those of you who have watched David Carroll for several years, he did a response video to this goofy bitch using this photo. She asked him to do it and he did it. But it wasn't about how much he wanted to kiss her pretty face, as she said. It was about him being puzzled as to why she would think, for those of you who saw that video, and unfortunately he made it private, so I couldn't pull it up. But for those of you who were back then, that he made a video. We all saw it, and it should actually be in the archives. I take that back. If I find it in the archives, I'll pull it up. Okay, but the video he made in response to this stupid bitch was about how much he didn't give a fuck about her in what he called war paint. Okay. I mean, and let's be mindful of the fact that this is a bitch. Even back then, she had to be in her late 30s or early 40s. This was a woman that was supposedly married with, still relatively small children back then. Again, we got to keep in mind that this was 8 years ago. Making online communique with black men that she called Uncle Ruckuses, putting on lipstick and fucking eyeshadow and eyeliner and, coloring her cheeks and talking about make a video about how much you want to kiss this pretty face. This is supposedly a married woman. Although we all know now what, pretty much everybody with a brain knew anyway, was that her husband, Michael Carroll, Michael Carroll. Michael Kazarin was long gone, by the time she really blew up on YouTube. She just, tried to mask it under a series of fronts, like her infamous "My Husband's Foot" video. This is what the point that I'm trying to make is, this is what Crystalline Carrison does, and this is what she's been doing for years, which is why it completely is beyond me as to why everybody is making a big buzz about her claims that Michael Carroll was in her email inbox sending her flirtatious messages, and we have yet to see the actual proof of this. Okay? Where are the receipts? We have receipts of her sending him pictures of her talking about, he wants to kiss her face. But she said that, not him. Okay? We have proof of her calling in to the Kevin Samuels show, flirting with him, telling him about how good looking of a man he was. A dude that is supposed to be a so-called unicorn, a troglodyte. Right? That's what she called black men back in the day, right? Why is everybody giving this bitch clout when we already know the story? See, this is also what I mean when I say that black people have a very short attention span. Now, these goofy ass content creators that are making a big deal about this, they're doing this because they're chasing the clout, because they're trying to get likes and views. They don't give a fuck, just like the whole Frank James situation last year. They don't give a beggar's flying fuck, what's the truth and what's not. They just know that that's what's trending right now. So we're going to jump on it and we're going to make a video and we're going to get lots of views. Okay. That's why I don't do shit like that. And that's why I decided a while back that I won't be making my living, producing content online, because I never want my livelihood to be based on, a trending fucking topic, or, having to pander to, the egos and insecurities of a bunch of fucking idiots that will only listen to me and support me if I say what they want to hear. That's not me. But this is what's interesting though. Crystalline Carrison didn't stop. After David Carroll made a video, he responded to this 2 days later, right? After he made the video responding to her stupid, you want to kiss and hug me, David bullshit post on Twitter, she made another post to him in the same conversation on Twitter. Like 10 days later. Well, yeah, about 10 days later, after his video, and saying, "Hey, David, me without my war paint. Bet you still want to kiss me, but don't. Please don't." Right? And so now he called her out on her bullshit, putting on lipstick. And again, dude, we're talking about a grown-ass woman. This isn't a 16-year-old kid. This isn't like a Shayla Toby type, the goofy 19-year-old bitch that went over there to South Korea and got her ass whipped by that little skinny Asian dude, thinking that she was going to be some Korea boo thing. This is a grown-ass 40-year-old crusty, dusty, rusty-ass woman doing this stupid shit. Supposedly married. A mother of multiple children. Okay? A woman who, even back then, advocated for black women to worship and deify white men and leave black men the hell alone. This is who is sending David Carroll these pictures of her done up. And then when that didn't work, she took all the fake up off, and she's, I guess, in the bathroom or wherever the fuck she was with no makeup on. Still talking about, hey, David, without my war paint, bet you still want to kiss me, but don't, please don't. But again, she's sending him this shit. So now we're supposed to believe that this same bitch that's sending him this shit is was somehow back all the way back then being harassed and stalked or emailed and flirted with behind the scenes through email. Simply because they were setting up to go they were communicating, setting up to go on the Chad Factor together. I mean, this is complete nonsense. And then I'm just now seeing this part. This bitch sent him a third picture on the same day. On November 4th, she sent him the picture with her all done up in the fake up. And on November 14th, after he made his response video, when she, challenged him to do so, she sent him 2 more pictures without wearing the fake up. In this third picture, she's pointing her face right at him. And she says in the post, boo-hoo, I'm so sad that 5723 Michael thinks I'm ugly without war paint. Guess I'll have to cry in my soup. And then Michael says, or David Carroll, as we knew him, says, shakes my head, get over yourself. And she responds, and this was him responding the next day. Also, I want you to notice the lag time through which he responds to this bitch. When she sent him, she posted underneath a photo, a post that he made on, I believe, November 3rd. She posted the next day, November 4th, this picture of her goofy self in what he called the war paint, what I call fake up. Okay. Then he responded 2 days later. Okay. That indicates that he wasn't thirsty to talk to this bitch any more than I was when Paris Milan was in my email so many years ago, for those of y'all who remember that. And I wound up blocking that bitch. Right. Proving that I am what I say I am. Okay. If David Carroll was so thirsty for this whore, why isn't he lapping up after her? Why isn't he responding to her right away? It's like, what do they call it when, somebody, a guy or a gal, they text somebody that they're interested in, and then I think it's called ghosting or some shit. I don't know. I'm not up with these terms these kids be talking about, but it takes them a really long time to text back, right? And the person feels like they're being rejected as a result because they grow frustrated because the person that they're talking to isn't talking back to them. That's how this was. It took him 2 days to respond to this bitch the first time, and it took him a whole ass day to respond to her the second time, right? He didn't respond again until November 15th, a day later. Said, SMH, get over yourself. And the same day, she responded, only when you get over me first, right? And all of this because he basically told her off and hung up on the conversation on the Chad Factor without her being able, to have any type of exchange with him. She got mad. And listen, no matter whether they had a positive communique, and I'm sure Brother Equasi will be able to elaborate more on what happened on the Chad Factor, because I wasn't even like watching David Carroll like that all the way back then when that happened. I just heard what happened, and I think everybody heard the part that somebody took from the live stream and re-uploaded it, where he finally called in and, basically, checked Crystal and Karazin. And she thought she was going to have some type of debate. She thought she was going to have her little bed wench debate, and he wound up treating her ass. Shit was funny as hell. But shit, let's be honest, whether it was a positive or a negative exchange between them, okay? Right now, here on Twitter, what we are not seeing David Carroll begging for her attention. Just like Paris Milan, to me, she was begging for his attention, okay? She was demanding his attention. She's in his Twitter talking to him. Okay? Let's be very, very clear about that. It's not the other way around. And if Crystalline Kerrison wants us to believe it's the other way around, okay, you know I don't directly discuss anything with my enemy or enemies, but if she wants us to believe that it was the other way around or it was somehow equal, you know, them both being thirsty for each other, like she was for not only Kevin Samuels, but that half-breed Afro-Latino Negro, Angel Ramirez or whatever his name is, then send the motherfucking receipts. She's the bitch that created the fucking term receipts. Let's see them receipts, bitch. Let's see them. Where they at? Let's see this email. I mean, if you want me to think for 1 second that this email, you know, where y'all are communicating to set up to go on the Chad Factor to have this conversation, and then he winds up, switching out and deciding he don't want to, have no debate with your goofy ass. If you want me to believe that it was something other than that, you're gonna have to show me a lot more than him, telling you when he's gonna be on. That's some dumb shit. But again, going back to what I said, okay? The only receipts we have right now are the receipts. I mean, come on, y'all. Like I said before, I did a whole breakdown of the psychology of this goofy bitch without having a license in psychology or psychiatry back in 2019. So readable and predictable and see-through, transparent is Crystalline Kerrison's immaturity. Even at almost 50 years old, I had haters of my content and people who claim to support her content. You know, them goofy ass lipstick alley ass bitches. They were coming on the comment of my video where I was breaking down her bullshit like 4 years ago, agreeing indirectly and begrudgingly agreeing with everything I said in that video about her ass. Okay? I mean, you can read this bitch like a fucking wristwatch. Why is everybody pretending like she didn't reveal something that's some unknown fact about, some dirty secret about Michael Carroll? He always said that if he was in the mood, he would look, But he said 10 times out of 10, if it comes between her and those sticks, he's taking the sticks. Okay? And once again, why wait a year and a half? She could have released this information after the Chad Factor. She could have released this information after David Carroll and myself, and almost everybody in the black male sector, anti-feminist sector of YouTube virtually jumped on her ass after the Veganator debacle. Okay? She could have released this information. There's a multitude of times when she could have released this fucking information. Okay? Why wait 1.5 years after this man is dead and gone to release this information? And it's not so much about him not being able to defend himself. It's why is this relevant now? And again, if it's true, then show it. Where it's at. Niggas, they hear shit and they just run with it without any fucking proof. Okay? So she showed where they emailed each other back and forth. Paris Milan and me emailed back and forth about a day or two. Did that mean that I was simping for her? Well, I already showed the receipts of that. For those of y'all who saw that classic fucking mockumentary that I made of that goofy ass bitch. What was it called? A long night in Paris or a hot night in Paris or some shit. A cold day in Paris or a cold night in Paris, I think. Yeah, I think that was the name of it. I roasted the shit out that bitch. And I showed the email so there would be, because she tried to lie the year before about what happened on her video. And just like I told y'all with Kenneth Thorpe's monkey bitch ass, who I have yet to fucking roast. Yet. But trust and believe it's coming. I let that shit go a whole fucking year. before I got her motherfucking ass. And I showed the receipts, the emails, so she couldn't come back and lie and say, oh, yeah, that nigga was thirsting after me. Nope. She actually offered, Paris Milan actually offered to contact me via phone call or video call or something. Because she thought, if I saw her, in person, or like not saw her in person, but if I saw her in a face-to-face conversation, virtually, with that fucking gloss that she put on them big ass lips, that somehow I would start simping for her, and then she'd be able to take that and use that against me. No, bruh. Or falsely accuse me of harassment or some stupid ass shit. No, bruh. No. I don't remember who said that, but whoever said it was absolutely right when they said you judge a person not by what they do when people are looking. You judge them by what they do when they think nobody else is looking. A private email communication, okay, something like that. Then you get to see what a person truly is and what they're really about, okay? Especially if it's happening in the present. So if this shit really went down the way she claims, where he was flirting with her or simping for her, then let's see it. I've seen a lot of people make videos about this shit, but I have yet to see the actual fucking proof. Anyway, y'all, I got part 2 of why black men are dumb, no pun intended, to work on. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. That's my call out of the girl who doesn't swirl. Put the girl who tries to swirl. Put it like that. Let's see the motherfucking receipts. Let's see him flirting after you. And let's be very clear. Even if she comes out with some shit about, with David Carroll talking about, ooh baby this or ooh baby that, which is highly unlikely. I have a better chance of winning the lottery. But even if that happens, it's not going to change the truth that he spoke. Okay? Everybody's human. Nobody's perfect. We've all done stuff in our past. But the way he responded to that goofy bitch all the way back then, I seriously doubt she has anything that's going to be revealing or eyebrow raising about David Carroll. And if she did, she would have come out with it a long time ago, because he burned her motherfucking ass multiple times. Okay? As I and several other people did. So anyway, guys, that's all I got to say on this for now. As I said earlier in the intro, no guarantees, but I'm going to conversate with the brother of logic and common sense. I very rarely do live streams because, I'm not looking for AdSense dollars. I can't get them anyway. They demonetized my channel a long time ago, but I may do a live stream on concerning black men and their preoccupation, their obsession with pussy, and the female human, their over sexualized obsession with the female human. Everything from passport for pussy niggas to these celebrities like Jonathan Majors getting caught up in having their careers and livelihoods ruined as a result of these goofy ass bitches, to these online YouTube beefs, these female infiltrators in the black manosphere. I really want to cover all of that, and who better to do it with the only since David Carroll's passing, the only trustworthy black male content creator besides David Carroll that I know, the Honorable Akwesi 100. So we're going to see if we can put that together sometime in May, or maybe a little later than that. But I'll keep you guys updated and posted on that. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening, and talk to you later, guys. Also, as I was recording this, I took special notice of something else about the girl who swirls. Notice how, like most black women, she complains about having to compete in a situation and at an event where there are thousands, or perhaps tens of thousands of other people involved in the same career field of being YouTube content creators and social media personalities as her. And like most black women, she expects benefits to just fall in her lap simply because she has deluded herself that she is the prize while hiding inside of her little bubble, deliberately misconstruing the fact that when she steps out of that bubble and safety net, she's just one of billions of other people on planet Earth fighting for survival and their place in this world. Notice how of the black male YouTubers that she talks to, none of them seem to have a problem at all with just being another YouTuber at the event. And keep in mind that some of them have much larger followings than her. Yet for Crystalline and other insecure, low self-esteem black women, being treated as nothing special or like they are royalty as soon as they walk through the door is a hard shot to their ego and lowers their already sagging self-esteem. This also helps further expose the myth of black women being strong and independent. Only a person or group of individuals who are mentally weak, emotionally needy, and socially dependent on the acknowledgement and validation of others complain about not being noticed and not being treated as if they were special. A truly confident person, no matter the race, gender, color, creed, or nationality, knows that they always have to be their own biggest fan and supporter, and to get to or near the top of any field of endeavor requires hard work, dedication, and discipline. And even if you get there, you still have to be self-motivated by the way you see yourself when you look in the mirror, both literally and figuratively. Also notice the sheer arrogance of desperate black women like Crystalline Carrison, who in the era of #MeToo, where men are being scrutinized and persecuted for crimes as petty as brushing up against a woman's shoulder, women on the other hand think and feel that it is perfectly okay to stalk, harass, and invade the personal space of men that she doesn't know simply because she feels lonely and left out. Yet if the gender roles were reversed, and a man was stalking, harassing, and invading the personal space of women at a large event like this that were complete strangers to him, security at the very least, and police at the very most would be called on him. In this toxic feminist-influenced society now upon us, the same women who won't give certain men that they're not attracted to the time of day fully expect men that they are attracted to give them the time of day, and by force of stalking, harassing, touching, and intruding upon his personal space if necessary, even if he shows no signs of being interested in her. Also, something else I find strange, yet intriguing and worthy of note. Crystalline Carrison frequently goes out on trips, vacations, and other recreational or YouTube-related long voyages alone. Notice her awkward activity while just at this event. Getting drunk at a bar and talking with strange men, and getting in close personal space, sometimes directly in the grill of other men who are complete strangers to her. Is it just me, or does anyone else wonder how the girl who swirls would react if one of these men she was harassing kissed her? She probably wanted them to. Traveling alone, getting intoxicated, seeking validation from random men of all races, and not women like herself. Does any of this look like the activity and behavior that a woman who is happily and faithfully married to her husband would be engaging in? They say that whoever you are on the inside eventually will show itself on the outside. Likely because of the emptiness that she feels on the inside, along with the lack of emotional support and sexual gratification in her marriage, without even realizing it, when she is out and about, she subconsciously seeks out young, handsome men that she is attracted to instead of her female counterparts. At the end of the day, truth is life. So people like Crystalline Carrison, aka the girl who swirls, who wakes up every day to live a lie, always wind up exposing themselves. Again, as I said in the second segment, this is a microcosm of the reality that most swirling and wannabe swirling black women face when they step outside of the bubble of black girl magic and into the open hallways of reality. Without black men, most of them would be invisible to the white male-dominated society that we live in. And while they will continue to call black men ain't shit niggers, they know this is a fact because, like Crystalline Carrison, they walk outside and find this out the hard way, every single day of their waking lives.